I'm not exactly sure why we grabbed guns. It was like a fun take. Zombies, or we're hunting people to kill and make into fish boys.
Ghost hunting?
Ghost hunting.
Ghost hunting.
We're gonna shoot ghosts. Anyhow, here we are. We're gonna discuss House of a Thousand Corpses as to why the collection has grown to what it is. I think we got 8 copies?
Something like that.
Standard definition DVD. But we're gonna get into some fun attributes that each case or disc may have, so we'll have fun. You ready?
Ready. You ready?
Ready. Wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Doing that little bit of filming earlier. Just stupid little mini movie intro. Anyhow, PileDriver. I guess this will be episode 26.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's when we started dating, wasn't it? 25 or 26?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, age-wise, I was like, wait a second.
Anyhow, here's Brewski.
Yeah, I was shy of 26.
You got a head start on me.
Not much.
Anyhow, we're here to discuss House of a Thousand Corpses. We both truly enjoy this film, all his films, all his music, be it Rob Zombie, White Zombie, any of that. This film alone, I mean, it really solidified, everything else that was to come. We got to see the first time he used his cast. And how many times did we see the same actors in all the films? And it was just really cool to see, and especially if you have, Sid Haig transcending the role from Captain Spaulding to the Gravedigger and his Halloween and stuff like that. I just thought that was cool. Breathing life back into a lot of people who didn't really, they weren't on the forefront or in the spotlight for a long time, and he made every character that important in his films. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I
I definitely agree. I just think it's fun, I don't know, it's almost like an Easter egg type of thing when you watch certain movies and you can pick out oh, he's in, that part right there and that and that. It's neat. I like that he uses the same people over and over as well.
No, that's splendid. I truly enjoy that. So, this being his first full-length feature film, directing, putting his heart and soul into this one, which we got to see in several more films. But House of a Thousand Corpses was made on the budget of $7 million. In the box office, it grossed $16.8 million back. Pretty impressive numbers. That's good, especially for a directorial debut. But being Rob Zombie and having the history he did in the music world, it's not a big surprise that he was able to bring that capital back.
Yeah.
This was released on April 11th of 2003. The soundtrack had come out about a week beforehand, which I got at our local wall, and it was in one of those cardboard flippy containers. It wasn't an actual crystal disc.
Oh,
container.
I remember. I know what you're talking about. Yep, they're really popular for a while.
Yeah, so that was cool. Apparently there was a bunch that came out, which I found one on eBay for $56. It's signed by Rob Zombie. So that's kind of cool.
I was going to say signed. I mean, that's worth it. But
yeah, so that came out on March 23rd. And I got that CD as soon as it came out because I was working at the mall at the time at KB Toy Store. And got that disc. And I took it and I listened to it at my house. I listened to it in graphic design shop. Because my teacher, Mr. Meyer, was really cool. He showed us all his video for trying out for Survivor. He tried out for the first series of Survivor. He was great at what he did as far as being a teacher and showing us how to do things. Anyhow, I'm sidetracking a lot here. But you got to put voices to the characters. You got to hear what some of that soundtrack was going to be, and that soundtrack was really cool because he went super old and used some of his music. The score, everything was just really fun with that. But I did state, in a previously recorded version of this, but the Lionel Richie and Rob Zombie Brick House cover was just like, that was too cool. Never expect to hear Lionel Richie and Rob Zombie on the same track, yet we got that. And obviously we got what, Pussy Liquor was on there, and we got Buck Owens, which I think was from, I think Buck Owens was either the 50s or the 60s. So like he really took that back. That soundtrack was just too cool.
I mean, I can pull it up if you want.
Oh, I'm sure you can, but for right now, theatrical release, like I said, was April 11th of 2003. It was sidetracked. It got put on the shelf, like literally put on the shelf. He first took it and sold the movie to Universal, and Universal like was afraid, and when they tested it, it got an NC-17 or a XXX rating because of some of the reasons you have there. But it was first shown in a foreign film festival in the original form, which we have yet to receive on any DVD, any Blu-ray. We do not have it. But anyhow, he was so pissed off because it didn't get released, and it was about 2 years that it sat. He then bought the movie back from Universal out of his own pocket. He took it to MGM, and MGM was like, you need to cut it down, and tone it down a little bit, because this rating you're going to get is insane. You're not going to get it out there.
It's going to be a very select audience.
Very. Well, here's like, this was the big kicker. He got it back from MGM, and then he thought about independently releasing it, like he did with 31, and like he did with 3 from Hell, just those small indie releases, which I thought they were both really fun movies. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, with his follow-up to this being Devil's Rejects, like that got a huge audience support, and he knew kind of what he could do and what he couldn't do to get away with as far as for the ratings. But yeah, so it was, and then he was picked up by Lionsgate, who's then released all of these. So I like that a lot. Devil's Rejects was also through Lionsgate. Everything else in this line. So I have here VHS copy, which was bought for me for my birthday. Super huge surprise. I never got this on VHS because at the time, everything was DVD. Like, it's the way of the future. So that's.
It was during that transition.
It sure was, but yeah, that's just a cool
throwing
one.
out their VHSs.
Yeah, I didn't though. Like, that's the cool thing.
Well, you're
like
a
my dad
collector.
didn't, and I had so many cool VHS tapes from over the years. It's like, I can't get rid of these. So, anyhow, he finally got that released, like I said, in April of 2003. Very cool. Take a short little break here, and she's going to give you some of the scenes, just a little rundown of the scenes that were cut out of this film to reach its actual release. Alright, so now we're going to touch kind of on why it took so long for it to be released, as far as the scenes that had to be reshot and whatnot and taken out.
Okay, so originally some of the scenes that were in it, one was a version of Captain Spaulding's story about Dr. Satan. He never actually says Dr. Satan's name. And apparently in that version, what was it? I always keep losing it. I don't know. Basically, it gets to a point where it is revealed that Grandpa Hugo's Dr. Satan or something like that.
It would have been a weird line, like a weird storyline.
It would have. I would not have liked that at all. I don't know. He was better as his character, just.
No, he was great.
Anyways.
I love that.
Back when they first pick up Baby implies that Mary and Denise are lesbians. The creation of Fish Boy, snuff videos omitted. It was shot later, after the film was being shelved. Baby originally only stabbed Mary 4 times. Originally with the underground scene, she didn't see Dr. Satan, but instead saw Jerry strapped down with the experiments eating him.
Yeah, that whole thing of like the opening the doors and going in, and there's Dr. Satan.
Yeah, that's fun. I mean,
giving the brain surgery, like
you have to meet Dr. Satan. Like, it was such a big
that was their
point in the beginning.
That was, I mean, that was the
whole journey.
That was the X on the treasure map.
Yeah, that was the whole point of even going where they went. The original ending of Denise getting picked up by Captain Spaulding. It was Spaulding originally driving a large delivery truck. And then...
Well, that scene was amazing when he picked her up after she had survived and crawled out of that hole.
I was going to say, this doesn't sound much different from...
But then Otis sitting up in the back seat with that doo-doo, doo-doo.
Yeah,
like, that was just such a cool... That was a cool scene.
Instead, they just changed it over to, instead of the red convertible, it was a delivery truck, and his assistant ended up peering up like Otis did and grabbed Denise instead.
Otis made so much more sense for that.
It did, yeah. But yeah, it said he pulls her back into the truck, which is lit with a red light. I don't know.
Making it eerie. I don't know.
I guess.
I mean, it had that old school, grindhouse feel to it. So this collection...
Everything's cut like a million times over before it ever makes it to us.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, the mixing, we know just from our friends in bands, I'll hear some of their initial stuff that they did, and then it's got to go through the mastering and the mixing, and we get something that's, it's the same, but it's just really cleaned up. This one here, cool to have in the collection, which is still a sealed DVD that was featured in the mail day last week. I'm just happy to have that. This one here, for the life of me, I can't find it online as to what was the first pressing, what wasn't. And I'm not going to sound like a know-it-all because I truly don't. But this is what I refer to as the Mud Zombie. So that one's cool. I will show you all these discs in a close-up. But that's cool. Just a regular plain DVD sleeve. With that one, this one here, the clear case, I was over at Griffin's house, and I saw his copy, and I didn't have this one at the time, but he was like, dude, if mine wasn't signed by Sid Haig, you're more than welcome to take it. But I wasn't doing that. He still had his ticket stubs, and I never got a ticket stub because I got to see the movie for free. But anyhow, this one, I'll pull this sleeve out so you can kind of see it a little better. This has the internal artwork with Baby and the chapter listing, so that's kind of cool. I like that one a lot, but this one has the black and white disc with kind of the Mud Zombie, so that's very cool. I like that one a lot. Let's see. And then this one, that's that plain Lionsgate. Lionsgate white disc. I think my copy of Dead Alive is the same way, same production, it's just printed Dead Alive. So I'm thinking this might have been one of the later releases.
That's what I'm thinking, because that got popular for a little while, doing that with some of the movies.
They were just hyping them that way.
Yeah.
This one here, very cool. Just received it. I have another one on the way because it's not complete, but this is the Digipack version. So it's once again got the Baby with the chapter listing, and it's got Mama Firefly and Baby. We got Tiny, Otis, and then it's got the black and white Mud Zombie disc again, and then inside is the Captain Spaulding. This came with a digital insert that came in this pocket right here, so check that out once we get it. But the back is generic and the same as others, so it's fun. Like I said, the collection's not complete, unfortunately. I see so many other versions. Just recently I found a page that had 4 other different US releases that were similar covers to the VHS, but it's nuts.
It's just wild to me. Like, I don't know if I'm just that out of the loop, but released kind of at least pretty closely within a time frame. I've never really known a movie to have this many freaking variations.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild.
This one, not so much a variation as to it's just a huge, awesome part of the collection that we have now accrued. But pull this out. Hopefully we won't get as much of a glare, but that is the one signed by Dr. Satan himself, Walter Fellin. Super cool guy. We got to spend a good bit of time with him at Creature Feature in 2019. He's apparently one of the godfathers of the LA punk scene. He said all the guys in Black Flag are like his kids. So that I thought was really cool. We sat around drinking a little bit of bourbon together and kind of hanging out. He was just a happy-go-lucky dude. He's done a lot of other work too, but Dr. Satan most notably for me, because I love that character. I love the deleted scene from Devil's Rejects. I like the music video they did with him. They're just all very, very cool. And then once again, this one came. Still working on getting the sticker off of there without damaging the holographic cover, but the holographic cover, don't know what timeline release this was, but I know Walmart's really big on their slip covers. Most notably, I guess, recently has been like their glow-in-the-dark editions that we see every Halloween, or the year or two ago they did is it like the Day of the Dead with like the sugar skull face paint on Carrie and Chucky and Candyman and all that. All very fun. But one thing that this DVD has that is like a dying, I guess you could say a dying art form, is the interactive menu. Is just super neat. The fact that it goes to a still picture, and then you hit your play button or your enter, and in Captain Spaulding, it rings the bell and Captain Spaulding comes out, and he's yelling from the back before he comes out. But just really cool that Captain Spaulding in character, very fun. So we'll show a short piece of that right now.
Ass on toast, stop ringing that goddamn bell. Shit the bed. Well, howdy, folks. Come on in. Well, from the looks of them fancy britches and sassy little hairdos, y'all ain't from around here, are you? So where y'all from? Look, I'll be if I get
Kind of like zoomed in on to show you, obviously being standard definition DVD, it's a little more pixelated, but I like that they have that little selection pin as like Captain Spaulding's head like kind of moving around, and then that comes and it goes full screen when you select something. But you got the special features which are hosted by Baby, so you've got more interaction, and it's a whole different screen like she's put there at Red Hot Pussy Lickers. Just wild. I love what they did. You don't see it much anymore. You basically get a generic photo of a scene from the film or the main character or the movie poster, and you get to play it. But I mean, there's just so many cool features to this disc in and of itself. Your character hosted menus. They take you on a guided murder ride through the special features. So you have director commentary, featurette, audition footage, rehearsal footage, cast and crew interviews, still gallery, theatrical trailers. And it's just very neat because you have, what I loved with Sid Haig stating that, my career was just kind of swirling around the drain. And, Rob gave him the opportunity to bring his career back to life and just breathe breath into it, which is cool because just as a lot of things that are old that are new again, you want to go back and see where he came from. But I, being a horror-raised child, knew some of his previous work and had seen him on the A-Team, as a bad guy in one episode. And, excuse me, it was just cool. But then, you got a whole segment of Baby and Spaulding and Otis just acting a fool with the knock knock. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Mother Firefly.
Mother Firefly who?
Tiny fucked a stump.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Tiny.
Tiny who?
Tiny fucked a stump.
It's so funny.
Nothing.
It's so funny.
None.
Something is funny.
It was the tiny fucked a stump joke.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
all it was.
Yeah, tiny fucked a stump.
Tiny fucked a stump.
That's the whole thing. It makes me laugh.
You gotta do the Spanish one too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did the Spanish ones. That's great. Oh God, it's just funny to go back and relive that. And I don't know about copyright stuff as to how much of that I can show and how much I can't. But I figure with a menu and that one little snippet, I should be okay. But
I think so.
they make me laugh every time. And like the night that Sid Haig had passed, had a bunch of friends back here at the house, and we all drank and sat around and watched Spider Baby, and we watched House, and we watched Devil's Rejects, and it was just really cool, And I mean, we watch horror movies all year round, and that's not something that not everybody does. I do enjoy the fact that horror is as popular as it is, and it's come to the forefront instead of it being like it was when I was growing up. Of okay, yeah, people did like horror, but like people like me or people like you, maybe, especially with your upbringing, liking horror was like you got made fun of for it. It was not the usual thing that people did. You were weird, a weirdo, or you were sick and twisted. It's like, brother, I grew up across the street from a fucking cemetery. I didn't have a choice but to be into the dark and macabre. I graduated high school and my art teacher, Mrs. Lair, called me Gothamania because of my choice of art and, the way I did things. And it was one of the greatest things ever. I never, she didn't mean it as an insulting thing, and I never took it as an insulting thing. It's just who I was. I was cool enough to have parents, or at least a dad, that was really into it. And then, Dan Rebert went on, he was my dad's friend, and he went on to become an award-winning special effects artist. And I got to know him as a child. Like, I'm friends with him on Instagram and Facebook, and we talk and stuff. But Dan did some amazing work over the years, and like Craig Sheffer, a bunch of us in York County know Craig Sheffer, and Nightbreed was his biggest thing that he ever did. But goddamn, was that such a cool movie. Just the underground creatures that dwelled. But anyhow, rambling again.
Yes. Always.
I guess that about does it for this episode. Anything important you want to put out to our PileDriver fans, our watchers, our friends, our family who tune into this every week?
Don't drink and drive. I don't know. I was gonna say something about don't drink just to be fucking funny.
No, that's a good idea. Well, I'm a funker. She's a funker. This is a stack of funkers, and I hope some of you guys are funkers. Truly appreciate you guys tuning in. I know this was a long one that we just kind of talked, and I just kind of rambled because it's what I do, but
I love your rambling. It's all good.
thanks. Well, hopefully they do too.
Sorry for such a long episode and everything else. Been meaning to do that one for a while, But, you know, I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching, and I hope this doesn't kill my crowd that's dwindling, as it always seems to. You know, something starts out hot and heavy and then just same old cracker week after week. So I want to be your cracker. Let me be your cracker. I appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful time, and enjoy your week.